Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cardaholics of all ages, welcome back to Big House Cards. Thanks so much for joining me. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. You can see my office computer background behind the screen here. And I wanted to do something different, and I wanted to start a series of conversations about the hobby, where things are at, where things are going. I know some other channels have done this, but I wanted to start off with something that's really kind of been bothering me lately, and that is this perception that the market will crash and that it will be a disaster for both investors and the hobby. And this has been going around because of a guy that I'm sure you all know and probably don't love, and that is Vegas Dave. For those who don't know, Vegas Dave is a fella out in Vegas, as his name implies. Basically, he was a sports bettor for a long time, made a bunch of money. Now he basically makes sports picks and tells people how they should bet, and he charges like $1,000 for his picks. So you're paying $1,000 to know what he thinks you should do, and then you're putting money down. So it's crazy how he's been able to be as successful as he is. And he is the guy who a couple of years ago bought the one-of-one Bowman Chrome Mike Trout Superfractor. He paid $400,000 for it. And he said in the end of his video, mark my words, this card will be worth $5 to $10 million. He wasn't too far off. This past summer, I think it was, he sold the card for, I believe, was about $3.9 million. So he didn't hit where he said he was going to, but he made quite a bit of money. And very recently, he's come under fire and even made a video to defend himself, basically saying that he thinks that the sports card industry, sports card market, whatever you decide to call it, is going to crash by the end of 2024. The bubble is going to burst. Now, I think that we all know that we're in a bubble right now. Prices for certain cards really haven't been this high in ever. I mean, I think there was a Steph Curry card that sold for quite a bit. Michael Jordan PSA 10s have sold for quite a bit. Fernando Tatis Jr. cards have been going crazy. I think it was earlier in the summer before the season even started. I sold 3 Chrome Tatis rookies for $20 for all 3. And now the Chrome rookie sells for $100 raw per card. So I missed out on $280. That's fine to me because I'm not a person who is trying to hold a bunch and sell and invest and scalp and all this stuff. Like, that's not me. Like, will I sell on eBay? Yeah, absolutely. But that money goes right back into the hobby. Or if I really need it, I'll use that money to pay bills. You know, like that's the kind of mentality that I have with this. So Vegas Dave is basically predicting that the card market's going to crash in 2024. Now, this is the same guy who, yes, he predicted that the market was going to boom. He made a video basically attacking Gary Vee, who you all know him too. That's where the flippers get their stock. Gary Vee is another marketing mogul who basically said sports cards are the best investment you can make. If you wanted to know why we can't find any product, he's indirectly the reason. Because a lot of the guys who listen to him are like, oh yeah, I'll go do this. And they now buy out everything. I mean, I was lucky enough to purchase 2 blasters of 2021 Series 1 baseball on Target's website. But I guarantee you, if I go into the store, I'm not going to find any. And it's because of guys who listen to Gary and, you know, to each their own. There's a whole another conversation I could have about flippers, and I will at some point, how you can fight them and all this other stuff. But back to Vegas Dave. So he made this video basically attacking Gary and, again, claiming to be the first person who said that the card market's going to burst, and he does it in such a way. He's missing out on substance, I feel like, and he's all about show. The loudest person in the room is usually the person who commands the most attention. So of course people are going to listen to him because all he does is shout. That's how this works. You pay attention to the loudest person in the room, not exactly the most intelligent person in the room. So the fault with that is he's just shouting for attention. He lives on attention. He bought up Derek Carr cards. He made a whole video about it, and I think it's a dumb investment. Nothing against Derek Carr, but his cards are not going to be nearly the level of Mike Trout. I don't think. Honestly, you want my opinion, I think Justin Herbert's probably going to be a better quarterback as far as sales go than Derek Carr. And that's from one season as a rookie. I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, please feel free to come back and find this video and tell me all about it. But he bought up all these Derek Carr cards, and in the video, he acknowledges something that I don't think many people caught. He said, these prices are going to increase dramatically because I control the market. Well, of course, Dave, if you control the market, they're going to go up in price, because when you buy every single copy of a certain card and a collector wants to buy that for their collection, whether they're a big super collector of that person or they're going for the set or whatever reason, you can name your price. So of course, if you buy up every single Derek Carr Shield autograph rookie, whatever, out of 10, numbered to 10, you buy up all 10, of course you're going to sit on it. And of course you're going to wait until that right moment to flip it, to sell it for a higher price, because you can basically name your price. When you monopolize a market, of course the price for that card is going to go up. I'll give you an example. If I bought every single 2021 baseball Series 1 gold card of, I'll say, Davy Garcia. He's a Yankee. I like him, Davy Garcia. There's going to be 2021 gold Davy Garcia rookie cards in 2021 Series 1 baseball. If I owned every single one of that card, he could be a complete dud. He could be an absolute megastar. If I owned every copy of that card, it doesn't matter how he performs, because I can basically name my price. If I own every single thing of a share of a card and every single variation of it, and somebody wants to buy one of those copies from me, yeah, I can name my own price. So when Dave says the market is going to crash, part of it's because he's one of the reasons the market's being manipulated. If he buys up every single copy of Derek Carr, yeah, his prices are going to go up because nobody else can find it. If the demand is high, the supply is low, the price increases. It's basic economics. So he's predicting the market's going to crash. He wants to save it. Well, part of the reason you could save it, Dave, is you could probably get out of Derek Carr. You say the cards are going to be the best investment you've ever made. Of course they are, because when it comes to a point when people want to buy it, you basically get to name your price. That's how it's going to work. You can name whatever price you want to on whatever Derek Carr card, no matter how bad or good he is, no matter how the Raiders do, no matter how the things go in Vegas, you can name your price and people will pay it. Heck, they might even probably pay a premium because you're Vegas Dave and you owned it, you touched it, whatever. So if you want to save the industry like you claim that you do, probably the best bet you could do is probably get out of Derek Carr. And I would say the same thing to anybody who's hoarding up a single copy. Of course you can name your own price. You own every copy of the card. So the market's going to be manipulated. Now, that's not, when I say that, that doesn't mean every single card that's increasing in price is being, manipulated like that. That's not the case. We also have things called shill bidders on eBay, where it's another account owned by the same person who owns a card, and they're raising the prices of it in order to get the most money. And if it doesn't sell to an actual person, it sells to the shill bid account, they just relist it. So it makes it look like that card sold for X amount of money, when in reality, it didn't. So there's got to be a way to fix the shill bidding. That might help save the market. But you know what? If I'm being honest here, a lot of people collect sports cards, and I'll even throw Pokemon in there too, because now you can't find Pokemon in stores. A lot of people collect cards because it's a hobby. Not everybody is doing this for the sake of an investment. I have a huge collection of cards. I have some that are pretty valuable. Not like a huge, ridiculous sum of money, but I got a couple $100 cards, a couple $200 cards. I'm happy about it. I got some Pikachu VMAX rainbows that are at PSA right now. They're almost done. They're almost graded. And I'll know what those are worth by the time I get the grade back. And yeah, I'm going to sell them because I've got expenses to pay. But I'm not selling every single card in my collection. I'm not going into Target to buy every NBA Hoops Mega Box and flip it. I'm not an investor. I'm a collector. So if the market crashes and the prices decrease, you know who this works out for? The average collector like myself. All of a sudden, the flippers will be out of the game, prices will tank, and, it's going to sting for those who are treating this as an actual investment. It might sting for people like Dave and Gary and anybody else who's really into this right now as an investment standpoint. But from a collecting standpoint, I don't think that's going to be the worst thing to kill the hobby. It's not even going to kill the hobby. I think it'll make it better. Vegas Dave said it's going to kill the hobby if the market crashes. I don't think so. I think it's actually going to revitalize the hobby because the people who are like me, who are average everyday collectors who don't buy out cases and participate in breaks, again, there's nothing wrong with those things, but the average collector wins if that were to happen. Now, I don't want you to think that I'm rooting for the bubble to burst. I don't want anybody to go bankrupt. I don't want anybody to lose their money. That's awful. I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't wish that upon anybody. I would love it to be at a point where we can get retail product very easily again. To think about it, it was only a year and a half ago I could walk into a Target and there would be blaster upon blaster upon blaster of 2019 Series 2, where Tatis and Vlad Jr. and Alonso and Eloy Jimenez have rookie cards. Now that product is skyrocketed in price. It was only a year and a half ago I could find it. It was only a year and a half ago I could find anything that I wanted. Maybe save for Prism basketball. But I think to be able to get back to that point, maybe the bubble does have to burst. Or maybe once the pandemic's over, people will take their money out of cards and be able to do things that they want to again, like entertainment and shows and games and things like that. All of this to say, I think the biggest thing you need to be careful of is you need to be careful of who you listen to. Vegas Dave says, don't invest in Pokemon. The card market's going to crash, blah, 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 blah. Be very careful. There's a little saying called the snake oil salesman, where the man walks into the old town and he claims that snake oil, it'll cure your ailments. Not necessarily any evidence, no testimonials, just shouting it as loud as he can, thinking that it's going to work. And it does. Be very careful of snake oil salesmen, such as Vegas Dave. He's loud, he's proud, but he doesn't have any insight that's really worth getting into. Could he be right? Yeah, I don't want to discredit him, but be very careful. Make your own opinion. Talk to people who know the hobby better than a guy who places sports bets. That's what I'll say about that. Thanks so much for listening to this rant here. Sorry, the background was a little bit boring. I'm trying to figure out the best way to format this so that you can have a little bit of a variety in the background here. Please leave a like, subscribe. Please comment what you think about this. I really want to hear what other people have to say about this issue. And let me know if you like this video. Like, I will make more commentary on the hobby and where things are at if this is a popular enough video. I apologize it's a little longer than I'd like it to, but I have a lot of thoughts on the issue, so please comment. Let's have a discussion. Let's talk about this. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate everything, all the watches, all the subscribers. I really, really do. It means a lot. I don't do this to become a big-time YouTuber. I do it because we're a community and we're a hobby. And if at some point I can make some money on the side, it goes right back into the hobby. I can't thank you guys enough I've always wanted to do this, and just thank you guys so much for helping make this a reality. Until next time, as always, bye-bye.